Hey guys, welcome on into the Midnight Prism. I am your host, Supreme Heretic, aka Drew Taylor. Nice to see everyone and Merry Christmas. Wes will be along shortly. I believe he is primping and showering and getting ready before he comes on here with me. So hey, Wes is gonna be so fresh and so clean. I guess that's what it is these days. But I hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. I really do. Before I get started, I'll tell you a little bit about mine because I went down to my second cousin's wedding in Tennessee. I went down. I left late in the morning on the 21st. Well, technically the 22nd. So I got on the road finally about 11:30 at night on 21st, but mainly I was traveling overnight on the 22nd. And the trip down was it was pretty much uneventful. Where I live here in Ohio, you basically I can follow the road that is the main drag outside of my house all the way down, hit Route 250, get on I-71, and follow that through Ohio into Kentucky, and then pick up 75. So smooth trip down. But we get to a few days after to Christmas Eve morning, and I got with my cousin. We end up doing some late Christmas shopping for her son and the other kids. And then the lady that was taking care of my cats, Gambit and Apollo, and supposed to be watching my house, well, the winter storm hit so bad up here in Kentucky and Ohio and all that stuff that, she couldn't make it out of her drive. So she couldn't get over here, and the cats didn't have food. The power was out at one point in my house, and pretty much I had to tell my cousin, hey, I got to dip. So I said some very quick goodbyes and gave the family my best and hit the road back up here. Now, let me tell you, yesterday, traveling back from Tennessee, pretty much smooth sailing up I-75 north. Then I get into Kentucky. That's when it changed. And let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, that drive was the biggest white knuckle, absolute stress fest that I have ever had on a road trip, period. Um, when I got into upper Kentucky, it was literally nothing but black ice. The road was almost a complete sheet of ice. And it stayed that way all through Ohio. I mean, we're talking what should have been an 8-hour drive turned into like 12 and a half because not counting the fact I stopped and took a nap at one point for a while, the conditions of the road were just mind-boggling. And it took every bit of concentration that I had to basically white knuckle it all the way home. And Stig, I love you. Very funny. but yeah, it was nuts. And yes, it's winter, Papa Cotton, but that particular winter storm, it did a number up here. So yeah, it was really bad, but I did make it home, and my cats were very happy to see me, and it was nice. So today, Christmas Day for me was just basically catching up on rest and kind of chilling out by myself, but that was that, you know. So yeah, cat story makes everything. Top it off with cousin garnished with your upper Kentucky. Please stop with your nap. Yes, this disproves the global climate change myth, Papa Cotton. Yes, it does. Because if anything, we're in a freeze. We're not in the thing like that. And Shawnee, step here. I will go ahead and drop that since you asked for it. I'm going to go ahead and pin this anyway. If anybody wants to help with the ongoing efforts to get the house onto the market, to get everything sold, we do need a little help, and I will throw this here in the chat. Isenko.com Taylor Home Project, and this should take you right to it, actually. So let me go ahead and show that there. Gibsongo.com/Taylor Home Project will take you right there. And so there you have it, Shawnee Step, because you asked for the link, and I'll pin that here in a little bit. But RR says, "Where's Captain Planet when you need him?" And Guinea Christmas, because we have Tommy and the Guinea Pig Collective in the house. Rita, it's great to see you, darling. Thank you. And Eve, thank you so much for that $6 super chat. By the way, I really do love that you have become a regular viewer of the channel. You're really good people. You're an awesome person, Eve. And Billy Ann, pretty soon I will probably be living by you because in Tennessee, that is where I'm going to move, is Tennessee. I'm looking at the currently somewhere possibly in Loudoun County, maybe somewhere in Clinton. Who knows? I really like the Oak Ridge area, as I said. So there's some options there. So I just have to narrow it down, and then I'm going to move. I really like the mountains. I really do. So I want to welcome in Wes of Whatever Cast, my esteemed friend Wes Moody.
Hey, everybody.
Everybody everybody knows and loves Wes. It's great to see him.
Well, not everybody. YouTube doesn't seem to like me too much right now.
Well, yes, Wes, exactly. And so we need to continue to hold our ground and do what we do best, and that is disseminate disseminate the truth. Tripping over my words tonight. I'm not Englishing well. Eve says
it's Christmas. It's okay.
Someone using my name again. Nice. Oh man. So tonight, Wes and I were gonna discuss the Twitter files, but before we do, Wes, how was your Christmas?
Well, still getting over this cold. Still have a little bit of stuff happening in my chest, so I spent most of it kind of in bed trying to recover and recoup. But I think I'm like 65-70% of normal at this point. So I don't know. I haven't. Just with everything that's been going on, it's not been the best, honestly.
Oh, Tommy with his smart ass jokes. You can always count on Tommy, folks, because 100% of the time, Tommy will never cease to be an asshole. Tommy says, that's Supreme Heretic. Did you say you want to inseminate the truth? Thanks, Tommy. Oh, jeez, oh man. Hashtag beware the Drew. I don't know where to go with that from there. Damn it, Tommy. But
inseminate it with a vengeful lust for justice, Drew.
Yes. But when we look at stuff like tonight, I know, Wes, we were going to kind of look into the Twitter files a little bit through the lens of the Midnight Prism, as our tagline would say. But
between the two of us, we could probably start a lot of fires and kill a lot of bugs.
Well,
our lenses are thick.
The thing about the Twitter files, okay, and I look at it like this. As I was talking with you earlier before the show, I will give credit to Elon Musk for, putting unfiltered truth out there, and doing it in such a manner that people can digest it and make their judgments. But here's the caveat. And if you look at the situation that we're in, people, you can't really trust a billionaire. You can't trust a politician. And hail Toback, great to see you.
Hail Terminus Est.
Hail Terminus Est. You can't really trust any one person. And I'll tell you why. And that is because there is not a savior coming. Now, if you're spiritual, if you're a Christian, you can argue that point and say, yeah, the second coming may happen, which as people of faith, we expect it to. But in the sense of some fix-all savior that is a mortal person, there is no such thing. What there is the power of the citizenry, the power of a united people. And that is the only thing, unfortunately, that this is the rough truth that will fix society. It's going to be the power of the people that fix it. And this is where Papa Cotton comes in, because Papa Cotton is the ultimate in black-pilled. But, and I'm sure he would say this, man, there's not enough people that'll wake up that it'll happen. And I get it, because there's a lot of people that feel like Papa Cotton does, that said there ain't a lot of motherfuckers that are awake that'll make a difference. There's those that are awake and those that are never gonna fucking be awake.
Well, and then you have to, if we're talking about people in high places, the people who have been co-opted, the people that, on the surface appear to be on our side and aren't on our side, but that goes
No,
both ways. We've had
right.
people on the other side come to our side.
Well, when it comes to Elon Musk, and we talked about this interviewing Lara Logan. Hail Tim's Talk. Merry Christmas, buddy. I hope
Hey,
you had a
man.
good Christmas, Tim. We talked about Elon Musk in the interesting quandary that he presents, because he's a wild card. Nobody knows what this guy's about, but he's a billionaire. He's still involved in transhumanism, still involved with Neuralink, still involved with a lot of things that do benefit the globalist cause, and that's undeniable right now.
Well, let's not
So
forget
I'm
about
not
those government contracts.
exactly, and I'm not sure where on the spectrum it falls that you can actually trust a guy. Now, I will give him all the credit in the world for putting truth out there, but at the same time, I don't trust that the man is 100% on the up and up. And there's so many people, and you guys have seen it. You guys that pay attention to Twitter. I know Eve doesn't really have a Twitter, or some of the other folks in chat don't have a Twitter, but those of you that do, and you see your timelines, we see how many people are dick riding Elon for his accomplishment with the Twitter files. And while it's nice, again, we give him credit for doing good stuff when he's doing good stuff. The thing is, there are some sinister things that the man's involved in. And until he goes and says, all right, I wash my hands of that, I'm 100% pro-humanity, and does something to show and prove that, well, I don't trust the guy's motives. That's what it comes down to. Wes, you go ahead and explain what you think about it, but that's how I feel.
Well, there's a few possibilities going on here. And number one, he's the real deal. And he's a freedom fighter, and he's pro-humanity. That's number one. Number two, what we're looking at here is tactics and methods. And what we have is a battle between an oligarch versus oligarch situation over tactics. And he thinks, well, guys, you guys have shown your hand way too much. You're approaching this transhuman future the wrong way. You're tipping too many people off. It's galvanizing too much resistance. And what you want is you want to bring people around to this voluntarily. Your censorship is spooking people. You're upending the whole operation. And also with the censorship, that's screwing up your data sets that you have in order to measure what the true public opinion is, and the data that you're going to dump into AI. And so, guys, let me be the guy on the white horse that comes in here, and let's get this thing back on track. Or, number three, he's just full on all in on their, well, I mean, I guess it's those two choices. That's what it is. I guess those are the choices.
Well,
and yeah, I mean, where do I come down at? I find it hard to believe that I just find it hard to believe that he would be all in on free humanity when he's clearly, I think he wants people to come to it voluntarily, or at least in a way that I tend to believe it's the latter. He's an oligarch, and this is an oligarch versus oligarch battle. That's where I come down.
And and you know what? That very well could be too. And we talked about that, Wes. It may be, well, I'm going to show the cards with actual truth, and you guys are just showing the cards with subterfuge. But I'm still going to show the cards because there's that thing. And if you believe in the spiritual war, you guys will know what I'm talking about here, that we requires people like these people to show their hand, because if they go and show their hand, there's this twisted belief that they have that they're doing the right thing by allowing for free will. And it's
that could be
it's a weird thing.
That could be part of the calculus too. It could be all like, but that kind of feeds into the oligarch versus oligarch thing that I was talking about. It's, I mean, they're pruning kind of the dead weight, the clumsy people, the dumb people, the heavy-handed people on team oligarch there. And what they're doing is, throwing them to the wolves while they have the smart people, the people that can advance the agenda, that are a little bit more careful, waiting in the wings. I mean, we've seen this time and time again with these folks in the intelligence agencies and the deep state. They always have more than one parallel operation running. They usually have at least, 2 or 3 of them going. And, it's just, I want to be optimistic. I want to believe that, that we're heading into that. I'm going to take our victories where we find them. I mean, he's given us some great information here. So, I think it's fantastic. Now, what would really kind of upset me, and maybe this is what they're banking on, is that people just aren't going to care.
Well, Papa Cotton alludes to that right here.
Yeah, maybe this is just being
happen.
Yeah, maybe this is just being done to placate us, to shut us up. See, we told you so. And then we're just like, okay. He's the Barack Obama of the conspiracy people. Sorry, go ahead and read Papa's comment.
Well, Papa says the globalist agenda will happen. It's not going to be how we fight it. It's going to be how we act and adapt in our own best interest. Now, look, I'm ready. Me personally, I know Eve said that she's rather scared. I'm not, because I put the pieces together a long time ago when I learned about UN Agenda 21. I could see it. Now, when you look for the bigger picture here, as in, is humanity going to mount a stand against this? Well, I don't know. I don't know if there's enough people that can break the programming that happens.
Well, fortunately, they control like the global economy and debt and all that stuff, and the instruments of government. So that's kind of a big force to overcome, collapse on its own weight. But, I mean, it's funny because just sitting here, I even thought of an example because, I've been going back and I've been watching old archived stuff, and I was, Firing Line, William F. Buckley Jr., right? Go back and watch some of his catalog of work, and you get a lot of truth. A lot of read between the lines. And guess what? You would say, hey, William F. Buckley was one of the good guys. Hate to say it, he was CIA. He was CIA. And back to Watergate, he was talking about, he had a lot of shows on Watergate, and he was talking about what Watergate really, he was debating with somebody and reading between the lines or talking around it. And a lot of the stuff you didn't hear about Watergate came from Haldeman and Ehrlichman, Behind Closed Doors in Washington. If you can ever, that series is available on YouTube. You should watch that. That's based on Ehrlichman's book. And William F. Buckley's talking to this guy, and he's like, well, Nixon didn't seem to think he could. Ehrlichman wrote a book all about how Nixon couldn't get rid of a CIA director. And then he got this big old grin on his face. And, I mean, he's telling us the truth, but he's also part of that system. So, Richard Nixon apparently grew pangs of conscience when he was in office and was actually legitimately trying to bring the FBI and the CIA to account, and the empire struck back. That's what Watergate was. It isn't what it appears to be, him being corrupt and starting his own, plumbers unit. He was set up. He was totally set up.
Yep. And like I said, it's just with all of this, you just there's so many opinions and everything else floating around that my goodness, dude, it just.
Well, you and I are contrarians, and even in our our indie sphere, our alternative sphere here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've had different opinions than people in our sphere have had over different things, whether it even be in pop culture. For example, myself, there was this great when God, who played Rhodey? What's his name?
Oh,
Iron Man, the second one, the second guy.
Not
Don Cheadle. Okay.
No, Don Cheadle. Yeah.
So Don Cheadle, that interview where he's sitting next to Brie Larson and she's going on about her nonsense, and everybody's like, Don Cheadle really, is on our side, and I didn't get that at all. I was like, he was like, bitch, shut up. You're fucking your career up. You're right, but shut the fuck up. That was what I got out of it. I didn't get he was on our side. He's like, bitch, shut up. You're talking too much. You're fucking your career up. So I don't know. I guess I'm a contrarian. I want to believe. But there's just too much. They're too well organized, and they do have, for all the really dumb people that they do have some very, very smart people, and Musk is one of them.
Yep. Even on a stick with the 199 super sticker has like a nice gold and orange rainbowish looking thing. It says new. Thank you, Eve, for the 199 super sticker. Appreciate that. Fury Kitten says J-Law invented Don Cheadle. RR says it's a global cabal. Yes, it is, dude. It's just the governments are bollocked by, and I love that word. That's one of those British words that I love. The governments are bollocked by those assholes because they do have a lot of blockhead puppets installed by the cabal, of course. It's all there, and that's the problem. It's all over the West. This is designed for essentially a demolition of Western civilization.
It's been in the works for a long time. It's been in the works since even before the Federal Reserve. It's been happening for a very long time. And so for it to be unwound at this point, I mean, I don't know.
A lot of these people, you got to remember, Wes, this has been in the works for generations of their families. This is like their birthright. And, they're going to follow the plan, even if it goes right off the cliff. They're going to follow this plan. And, it's almost like a death cult. Because if they don't succeed, they're going to die doing it. That's just how they are.
Well, they're not just going to die doing it. They're going to break the world.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to give you that choice. They're going to break it economically, population-wise, and every possible imaginable way. It's like if I can't have it all, no one can have it.
Mikhail, Merry Christmas, sir. Hello, everyone. I believe we are witnessing 3 sets of powers fighting over control, 2 based in the West, and then we have the Chinese. Then you have to add religion into this as well. Yeah, absolutely.
I think the religion angle might be a bit of a red herring, but the Chinese, see, that's something something else. I mean, the Chinese wouldn't have been able to do what they've done on their own. They got help. They got help from the globalists. So maybe they might be trying, wincing and trying to wrench out of that control a little bit. But
Well, I think the
uh,
Chinese are playing both sides, to be honest. Um, the Fury Kitten says the Fourth Reich is a reality. Yeah, absolutely, it is. Um,
well, I watched a while back a WEF event that had Xi there with Klaus Schwab, and Xi looked nervous. Xi looked very nervous. So, I mean, I don't know, but that's it. They're more overt than they certainly have been in the past. They've been a lot more covert in the past. It's kind of just all out in the open at this point.
Eve says, give me a name, any name, um, make it fucking crazy. And my answer to that was, I say Sticky Eve. for if we're handing out nicknames. RR says the globalists built China on selling their production base out for slave labor. Yes, absolutely.
Yep. Forget your unions, man. We had a very vibrant and robust manufacturing sector with really high paying union jobs, and those went CEO pay went, and those are those middlemen that Trump was talking about when he said, "I'm gonna have to disappear for a while, guys. I'm taking on some very powerful interests, and you know, I've really upset some people," and he sure has. I mean, did you see that article? There's a congressman saying that Trump's going to spend the last of his days in jail. I mean, when have we ever heard of anybody talking about a former president that way? This is ridiculous.
No, it is, and I think at this point it's serving an obsession. They will never let go of that obsession with Donald Trump. It's just a thing that they can't get over. They can't get over the TDS, dude. It's like they just can't. It literally breaks their brain. They can't get over the TDS.
Well, I mean, that would be fine, but they may actually have a legit shot of throwing the guy in jail.
Well, yeah, of course they're going to twist it around and everything else. We know, common sense wise, that there are loopholes here, and they are for extreme interpretations. I mean, let's be real. It's like for the most batshit extreme interpretation of him doing something wrong, but they're going to try to twist it to get to that place in order to prosecute and put him in jail. Now,
Well, they're sending a message. If you're not in on the take, this is what happens to you. If you're not on the take, this is what happens. You get on the take, motherfucker, or this is what's going to happen to you. You leave us alone, or this is what's going to happen. And I still, but just an informal poll here in the chat. And I have no evidence to the contrary. The only thing that I have, and we talked about this, you and I briefly, Ivana Trump's death, her fall, her fall to her death. I think that was a message. I mean, she allegedly died officially from a slip fall accident downstairs and died from blunt force to her chest. Have you ever heard of that happening?
Blunt force to the chest.
Blunt force to the chest?
Yeah, that's a little suspect.
A little.
I'm saying that with complete sarcasm, yes.
Yeah, they probably got some big dude in there and just he walloped her in the chest and fucking killed her. Old woman, that's not going to be hard.
Well, the only thing here that I look at, okay, when it comes to Trump, and I don't want to turn this into a complete Trump conversation because we got a lot to get to with the other stuff. But,
right. Sorry.
But the thing is, okay, when you look at that, there are things that he's done, and I will speak to RR's comment right here, that have directly benefited the globalists, or you know, intentionally he's given himself a bad look. So so there are some concerns there, and again, I always try to say, all right, let's pump the brakes. Let's not put all our eggs in one person, because I don't care if it's Elon Musk, Donald Trump, whoever. Again, power is within the heart and mind of the people. It's all in having a free mind and a passionate heart. What they're doing to Trump is trying to crush populism, is what it is, really, is at the end goal. It's to crush any sort of populist movement from beginning.
Yep. Well, I mean, I don't know. I, I, I think Trump got duped on some things, but I don't think he's part of their agenda. I just don't see any of them going after someone the way they're going after him.
Power isn't in the gun, it's in all the bullets. Yes, Tommy, that is a great analogy.
I think Trump threw them a couple of bones, like when he had John Bolton in there.
Yeah.
But that didn't last very long.
RR says, you can't trust anyone on the big theater stage. That's absolutely
and you shouldn't.
Eve says, I'm never going to hold my heart to the USA because the USA doesn't have my back. I'm a vet. And you know what, Eve, you're not wrong about that. Look what they've done to veterans in this country. Look what they've done to our disabled veterans in this country. There's very real problems out there, folks, that they still haven't fixed. And you can argue that that's intentional or not intentional, but the bottom line is the things like when you deal with the VA, when you deal with government systems like that, they have come woefully short on taking care of people that have, become maimed, have chronic conditions, everything. They have fallen woefully short of taking care of the people that gave everything that they could to support that American flag behind me and support this country. It's terrible. And even Trump didn't do what he could have done to really fix that system. And Rita, why are you having warm? Oh, God. I feel my stomach gurgling over here. And Tobat's right. The care at the VA is shit. Yes, it is. And I know that from personal fact because I saw it directly when my dad was sick.
Well, yeah, I don't know. My grandparents seem to have been happy with their care, but I don't know. They didn't catch their cancer until like it was stage 4. So I don't know.
Well, you're not wrong with that analogy because look what happened with Rome, the fall of Rome. What is happening with America, the fall of America.
Well, we're going to probably get to the point where we have public executions and we have like incidences where people kill each other and fight to the death on television. If it keeps going down this road, given the way they're already publicly talking about things. I mean, when you got into the Roman Empire was bad enough, but once it turned, once you got to the kind of the Byzantine era, the Eastern Roman Empire after the West fell, they were going around blinding people and doing all kinds of, cutting people's noses off and all kinds of terrible stuff.
Well, I'll tell you what, I, for one, would be up for public execution if it was all the globalist cabal assholes that were being publicly executed. Because I want some real justice for what they're trying to perpetrate on the world. I really do.
Well, yeah, I do too, but it has to be done, with a trial, because if we just haul off and we get one of our guys in there and then they file a state, they declare a state of emergency and start hanging people, that takes us into French Revolution territory, and then you end up with a Napoleon, and that would be even worse, the counter revolution. In a way, I think they want us to do that.
Well, that's what they're doing. That's why they keep gaslighting the people. They want a violent revolution so that they can directly blame the populace and say, look, the population has turned into extremists, so we have to take control.
Papa Cotton says Washington has been corrupt since at least after World War II. Oh, it goes back further than that. Pretty much since the beginning. I've got questions about the Thomas Jefferson election in 1800. Thomas Jefferson wanted to do away with the first bank of the United States, our first central bank, and something weird happened. And, suddenly the way the Electoral College worked at the time, you voted for the second vote getter was the vice president. There was a tie between him and Aaron Burr. And Alexander Hamilton was the one that came down on the side of the Congress saying, vote for Thomas Jefferson. And suddenly Thomas Jefferson just decided not to touch the first bank of the United States. That just suddenly disappeared from the agenda. So I think a deal was made.
Yep. It feels that way. It really does. But listen, let's kind of get into the topic on hand. And I know we were going to talk about the Twitter files as a whole. And last week we talked about PSYOPs and what came along with all of those. And, if you look at PSYOP culture, and a lot of it is PSYOP culture, the thing is, and that's a good point, Billy Ann. The country has been corrupt since the elite when it established the Federal Reserve, why Lincoln was killed. Hamilton planted the globalist empire seeds. Well, you guys are on fire with this stuff, but yes, you are correct. But when you get into like the Twitter files, for example, you can understand now why Kennedy was silenced, why other people have been silenced, because institutions that we, quote, needed for our protection, that we trusted for our protection, have now gone completely rogue. You now have a full-on intelligence community operation in concert with social media on every level. So you have different elements of every hi Apollo, of every
Apollo's sitting on the top of his mountain like a god should.
Yes, he is. He's comfortable up there. But the thing is, you have every intelligence agency in many different countries across the world involved directly in social media. So, the rabbit hole goes deep on a lot of this stuff. Because again, we touched on it last week, but it's not just the FBI or the CIA. We're talking about Mossad, and we're talking about, whatever the Chinese intelligence agency is, they're knee deep in it. I'm sure the other ones that are in on it, the Germans are in on it, and the Brits especially. It's crazy with what the extent of all of the intelligence community involvement. I mean, it's the global intelligence state is crazy, and it's way out of hand. And Tommy brings up a good point. Look what they're doing to France right now. All planned. Yes. MI6 means more than CIA. Yes, it does. You know, God, I love you guys for what you're bringing to the table. Papa God says the only thing creepier than DC is the damn Vatican. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Vatican has some demonic shit, says RR. Wes, you said lots of Egyptian stuff in the Vatican. Yes, there is. It's crazy, and you don't have to be a believer in God to understand that, just be a spiritual person and understand that there is a spiritual element to all of this. It's a common thread that is carrying this conflict. It's there.
Yep. Boy, Apollo's just chilling up there, isn't he? Good balance.
Yeah, he is. Oh, God. Is she about to get married again, Eve? That's crazy. Sticky Eve says, shit, Cher's about to get married. If she really is going to get married again, that's nuts. I don't know.
She marrying the bagel boy?
Yeah, I
Remember
don't
the
know
bagel boy?
I don't know who would marry that nutso broad, but I feel for him.
Probably somebody that wants money.
Yeah. Rita typing on Dwayne's account says, my husband at the time was dying and he was on the blue team in the VA. They couldn't give him pain medication because he might get addicted. Husband died a horrible death. And he was not an addict at all.
That's terrible.
Bagel Boy was hilarious, yes. Fury says, I am secular, believe what you believe. Personally, no shit's given. Exactly. Terminus says, at Supreme Heretic, we also have all these illegals coming over, and Governor Wheels keeps busing them in. Recipe for disaster. Yes, sir.
Weren't people asking him to condemn the WEF and he's refusing to do it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I like that name, Eve. Yvette. I like that. And I like how it's spelled, too, because there's a lot of Yvettes with Y, and I like the fact that it's E. That's unique.
Yeah.
The thing is, with that, the illegals are part of disrupting the voting process because they're just trying to build a voter base. And you're just using them basically for free vote. That's what it is. It's to basically fortify elections when they want, where they can just trot out illegals and say, see, real people are voting. That's all they want.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, God, were we supposed to be doing a black pill stream?
Well, you know what? Look, you get to that point when you see it because we need to be real about what the hell we're dealing with. Look, we can't sit here and blow sunshine up everybody's ass and say it's all going to be okay. You can say you're hopeful, you can say you're optimistic, but we can't just throw it out there and say everything's going to be okay because probably it's not. You need enough organization and enough unity amongst the citizenry in order to mount any sort of effective opposition against all of the nonsense. And, Papa Cotton knows what's up with this because there's just not enough right now.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm willing to do it on my end, on the information side of things. Absolutely. I will go and talk truth and talk, about what's under all the layers until I die or until they put a bullet in my head. I don't care. I care that much about telling people what's going on. But, let's be real. Unless enough people go and say enough is enough, you know, I'm just gonna, fire these people myself. Well, you know, it's just gonna stay the same.
Yep. Twitter files, huh?
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, okay. I guess we're gonna get to something that's not quite as depressing. Yeah, I mean, what sticks out to me again are these meetings with peeling back the curtain. Just the all these meetings with these government agencies, them giving lists, making lists of I would be curious. Here's what I want to see. I want to see if you or I made any of those lists. Because they were targeting people with low follower counts, they said, relatively speaking.
Yeah. Well, I was I know with me, I had a low follower account on Twitter, or a follower count. Yeah, it was something like 1,000 for the longest time. And now, by the way, yay for me, I just hit 2,000 followers. But I think I'm at 2,047 right now. But a lot of them over the last few weeks, and this is crazy weird, are all these ones with anime profile pictures and like Chinese or Japanese writing. So I think a lot of them are these weird fucking bots, man. There's a lot of them, I swear, that are bot followers that I have. So I don't know why all the bots are following me, but I mean, I don't sit there and worry about it because I take the padding numbers on my follower count. But I've also gotten a lot of real followers too that just keep going up and up. So it balances it out. But yeah. Hi.
Yeah, what's weird is that we did recognize the Vatican, so we actually have full diplomatic relations. That was when did that happen? Jeez. So they have diplomatic immunity, which is weird given that they're a religious institution.
Or that really and truly they're a pedophile institution.
Well, I think we all know
Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, and oh, by the way, I'm Roman Catholic, but yeah, that I'm not gonna deny what they are. And the more that I see, the more that I understand, points exactly to that. But I've told people left and right that, guess what? Those of you that are fellow Catholics, I hope you wake up to the fact that, hello, our church is friggin' infiltrated by pedos across the board. And nobody seems to want to address that. There's some fellow Catholics that agree with me, but a lot of them are like, oh, you're just going off the deep end. It's not that bad. Really? Yeah, it is.
So Ronald Reagan was the one that established formal diplomatic relations with the Vatican in 1984. So there you go. Which I do not think we should have, not with an organization, because they're really an organization. They're not. I mean, I guess you could say that Vatican City is sort of like a city state, but I don't think they should. Papa
No.
Cotton says, I'm Catholic. That's why I'm agnostic.
Yeah. Hey. Hey, Eve, you would get married, have a Catholic wedding? No, you know what's funny though, honestly, is just I mean, it doesn't. It's like I have corruption radar, man. I can just see it. I can just see it, dude. I see it like it sticks out to me. It's like putting on the glasses in They Live. I could just see it all over the place. It's like I have the fucking radar for it now. It's crazy.
Yeah, my grandparents used to argue because my grandmother, she was, her family was Catholic, and my grandpa was from Oklahoma, so he was a redneck, and he would always just he wouldn't allow her to hang crucifixes anywhere or anything. And then when my great grandma died, she had this one 3D relief of Jesus, and he allowed her to hang it in one place behind this door that was always open and blocking that picture. And he would just be like the Pope would rather hear a young boy fart than a pretty girl sing.
Oh man.
Yeah, they used to really get into it. She'd just be like, or says They Live was a great documentary. Yep.
It is, man. That's the thing. It just turned into that, didn't it? I mean, my goodness, because you can just see all the programming everywhere, all the messaging everywhere. It's you can see it clear as day. But a lot of us are playing that chess game, and we get it.
Yep. Yeah, well, that must have been hard for Grandma because Grandma was Polish, and that's when Pope John Paul II was the Pope, and Grandma was really proud of that.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah, Grandma was a decent cook. I don't know where my mom got her horrible cooking gene from.
I actually turned into a pretty decent cook myself because I'm still proud of that pot roast I made last week, man. That was killer. So I was proud of that and the garlic mashed potatoes I made. That just was like chef's kiss, dude. That was great. Good stuff.
Oh,
I
shit, I
can't
love
wait to.
garlic mashed potatoes. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to make that again. You know, if I, that's what I said, man. I meet an awesome chick. We're gonna be fighting over the kitchen because she's gonna want to cook, and I'll be like, oh no 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 no, step aside and let the man cook because yeah, I can I could cook a thing or two. It would, yeah, or it would be kitchen wars, bro. Because I can cook a little bit, no lies. But Yeah.
Yep. Well, I haven't fired up the barbecue in a while. I'll have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, roasted kielbasa. Oh, Fury Kitten, I would have loved that. Damn it. I like a good kielbasa. I like some Polish food too. You know, I'm
Yeah,
picky
Grandma
about
made
it,
some
but
really good stuffed cabbage.
I like good kielbasa.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, with some sauerkraut. Mm.
Mhm. Um.
Squirt some mustard on that stuff. It's like all you need.
Oh man.
Ugh, man, trimmed my beard. It's itchy.
Dude, I watched an interesting interview, by the way, Wes. I saw Pierce Morgan interviewing Andrew Tate. That was great.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. He did an interview with Patrick Bet David that was like 7 hours long. I was listening in the background while I was working.
Hmm.
That was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Which,
Man, look, I know a lot of people have opinions about Andrew Tate, but I think the dude is based as fuck, not gonna lie. You know,
okay, well, here again, if you deep dive on Andrew Tate, his father was in the CIA.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, it's like this guy has all this money. He's jet setting. I mean, I don't know.
Well, no, but he's based from the standpoint of, he has a good point, like especially the views on masculinity. Look,
Mm-hmm.
the feminist movement is a fucking joke, all right? Yes, women can do a lot of shit, but when it comes down to it, men and women's bodies are different. You know, you're not going to have chicks that just want to by instinct jump out on the fucking front lines, grab a gun and go to war. They're not going to. You know,
Not most of them, no.
you know, men are the providers, we're the hunter gatherers, we're the protectors. All right? That's how it should be. That's how it's meant to fucking be. You know,
Well, that's the mainstream. I mean, you just got to know that alternative is alternative. I mean, they're there for a reason, and I mean, God made them too, but it's I mean, that's how you propagate the species.
yeah, you
I
know,
mean, no more humans if you don't have men and women getting together and having babies.
I mean, they don't get paid now, Eve, because all that equal pay, that pay gap bullshit, and you know what I'm talking about, okay, it was a garbage cop out. It's what it was, you know, and see exactly, RR,
Mm-hmm.
that was part of it.
We got to wonder where Sasha and Malia came from.
Yeah, they don't want us to properly further the species. All right. Now, if I marry somebody, I fully intend, because I feel it's my responsibility to run the fucking household. She's there to handle her shit. You want to work, that's fine. You handle your shit. That's your shit. All right. You want to work, that's fine. I don't give a fuck if you make more. I don't give a fuck if I make more. But if you work, you do your shit, that's fine. But I'm also at the same time, I'll help out, but we're damn sure going to meet in the fucking middle on the chores and shit like that, because I'm not here to be Mr. fucking mom. I'm here to be like, look, if we need food, I'll go out and fucking get it. If we need, if somebody breaks in the house, I'll grab the gun off the fucking table and I'll go fucking make them pay. You know, if you know, somebody's fucking with the kids, and I'm gonna go get in their face and tell them you're not fucking with my kids. You know, that's the type of shit that I'm gonna do. I'm a fucking man. You know, the thing is, there's not enough dudes. I mean, they're fucking cucks now.
Yeah, I think
They let their fucking chicks run them around. They're subservient to their fucking women. They get treated like doormats. And you know, it's that fucking whole simp mentality, man. You can't have that. All
well,
right.
well, I mean, you know, you have the proliferation of single parenthood, and most of the time, the women are raising the children. You know, I mean, I was raised by my mother for the most part, and you know, my mom, God bless her, she worked hard, she put food on the table, she was doing the job of two parents, but you know what? She didn't know shit about men.
No.
And she didn't get advice from her brother, my uncle. She was getting advice from her little sister about raising us, who was basically a sycophant and a tag along and didn't know shit either.
Well,
So
and yeah, the on a couple level, you know, women do not talk to men. When you're together and you're dating, couples don't have conversations anymore. They don't fucking talk. They don't sit there and say, "Hey, you know, I was curious. Why do you do this? Why, as a gender, you know, because I want to understand. Why are you like this? You know, we don't ask women questions like, "Hey, why, you know, do you guys generally do this?" You know, so there's no cross conversation there.
hmm.
There's all general assumptions on the part of women, and there's general assumptions on the part of men about women. Same
a
thing
bit
in women about men. It's just there's no actual communication.
well, a big observation seems to be that women seem to think that men don't have, we'll call it emotional needs. They're different, but we have them. They're very focused on their emotional needs, if I could just make an observation. And they don't even see that men have those.
Well, as a guy, if you want to hold on to your masculinity, it's fine to let your emotions out for a walk here and there, but for the most part, you have to maintain stoicism to kind of keep your head on a swivel, keep your eyes peeled, if you will. So, you know, that's fine. Your partner is there for that support when you do need to let your emotions
Mhm.
out for a walk. If you got a good woman, she's there for that support
Well, I'm not
because
talking about
she,
crying or anything. I'm talking about, you know, that you even that they exist, you know.
yeah, but she naturally, as a nurturer, understands. So she's there for that support when you need that. But for the most part, you should try and maintain, you know, a stoicism and keep your head on a swivel so that you can confront the problems that pop up. Because, you know, I agree when Andrew Tate says it's a man's duty to protect and handle shit. And he's
No.
right, you know?
It is. Yeah. I mean,
I mean, you know, and that's why you see so many dudes that are just like
soy boys.
domineered by their women, or you know, just sitting there and enabling the garbage, like being fucking sugar daddies and shit like that. It's just fucking terrible. It's that simp mentality again. Oh, you know, I'll buy your OnlyFans content. I worship you, you know, blah blah blah. You know, look, It's fine to be proud of your lady. If you have a lady and and she's your better half, she's your fucking better half and you're proud of her. But at the same time, shit, you don't sit there and go putting every woman on a fucking pedestal. It's just not how it works. Yeah, you should make your lady feel fucking special, your lady, but you don't put every woman on a fucking pedestal.
No.
So, it's and now that's a problem. That's why a lot of the masculinity is happens to be gone because guys just will just sit around like doormats and let themselves be run.
Seems to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
And
yeah, the gender roles narrowing and the things he was talking about with that and talking about, his upbringing. I could kind of relate a lot to his upbringing, talking about being raised by his mother because a mom's never going to be a dad, no matter how hard she
no,
tries. And I'm just like stunned at some of the stuff that my mom just did not know and didn't care to learn.
but
And
there's like lessons, dude. Even when I was younger, and a lot of times my dad was working a lot, was away on business. My mom had to step up and tell me things, and my grandma was a tough bitch. So she told me straight up, I'll never forget my grandma telling me this too. She's like, if you get in a relationship and stay in a relationship where you let a woman domineer you, you deserve what you get. And my grandma straight up told me that shit. So,
some dudes seem to like it. I've seen it.
and I
I had
can't,
like this client that I recently had. Man, his wife was running everything.
yeah, I mean, I can't go that route. That's like, if I was with somebody like bank account, for example, oh, we need to get a joint account. The fuck we do. Look, you got a bank account. You run your bank account as you see fit. I got a bank account. I'll run my bank account as I see fit. And
You
then
got
if there's a joint purchase we have to make, we'll sit down and talk about the pros and cons, and then make the fucking purchase. There's no we have to have a joint fucking account to do that. No, fuck that.
well, there's like the 2-pot system, which is what you're talking about, and then the 3-pot system, which is yours, hers, and ours. And I think you could either go 2-pot or 3-pot, but the joint account, there's a lot of problems with that. That's my parents had a joint account, and they fought all the time over that thing. Of course, my dad had a bad drug problem and was raiding both, their joint account, and she's like, "Hey, that's my money too." Until she figured it out that that's what was going on. But yeah.
Well, one of the worst things, look, dude, and it's true. Money's the root of all evil. So if you want to implode your fucking marriage, the worst, the go by all means make a fucking joint bank account, and it'll be one quick way to fucking implode your fucking marriage.
I'll tell you, man, he was drugs are bad. He was spending his money, her money, and then borrowing money from grandma and my great grandma. He was still coming up short.
Now Tobat says my wife and I have been married 11 years in one account. Okay, and look, that can work, but you have to be able to fucking meet in the middle and both people be trustworthy. A lot of times, not everybody is on the same level in financial management as far as managing finances. So, They might be an impulse buyer where the other partner is not an impulse buyer. But you have to keep that shit in mind. That's why me personally, I believe in like, hey, I got my bank account, I got my bank account. You got your bank account, you got your bank account. And if we run into something that we both need, well, we have the conversation to figure it out.
Yeah.
No, nice, Tobat. Yeah, Eve wants a man's man. Virtuous victimhood is a way to normalize self-loathing. Again, more societal demoralization. Yep.
I suppose. Yeah.
My last wench was a sandwich bitch. Nice. I love it. But yeah, I really dig some of the stuff that Andrew Tate says. I really do.
Yeah, I think he's spot on with the gender roles and men being men and women being women. I seem to recall there being a sitcom that talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
Songs that made the hit parade. Oh, we've got it made. Those were the days. And you know who you are then. Girls
hey,
were
man.
girls and men were men.
I want a marriage straight out the 1950s.
Oh, Mr. Hub. Shit, I forgot the song. Whatever.
Oh, man. But yeah, it's just funny because I look at a lot of this stuff like, yeah, they're men do have to step it up. I mean, if you want to act like a fucking man, step it up. I mean, if I was raising a son right now, there's no way that I would let him turn into a little bitch. There's just no way.
Yeah, boy, I had to learn how to scrape because I was getting bad advice from my mother on that. I just had to fend for myself because her advice was terrible. Some guy was giving me trouble, and I didn't want to see my mother cry because she equated defending oneself, getting into a fight with equal violence, and it's like she just, when I was saying my mother just didn't get stuff. That's one of the things that she just did not get. She's like, if you get into a fight, then it doesn't matter. Violence is violence, and I'm like, you don't understand. I'm having some trouble from these guys, and I waited till the last day of school my freshman year, and then I was like, this is it, and the dude like took a swing, and I dodged it, and I grabbed him by his collar, and I just yanked him towards me and gave him a good fucking right hook and just started wailing on the guy right there in the middle of class, and the teacher didn't do shit about it. Felt great.
I have a Christmas shot because I never had one.
Yeah. And I was like, well, if I knew the teacher wasn't going to do anything, I would have kicked this guy's ass a long time ago.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Mister, we could use a president like Herbert Hoover again. Didn't need no welfare state. Everybody pulled their weight. Gee, that old LaSalle ran great. Those were the days.
Nice.
Thank you, RR.
RR coming up in the clutch.
So Ivana Stick says, make more. You mean videos?
Make more VODs. Yeah. Videos.
Yeah, all right.
Do one for me. So Ivana Stick.
You clip that All in the Family one. Yeah. I don't know. You know, for the time that my dad was around, it wasn't. I mean, he's not a total piece of shit, but you know, before he really got fucked up on drugs, I mean, I learned some good lessons from him. Boy, but that's really something to have a failed mentor like that.
Yep. All right, Eve, here's yours. You know, a shot of Jack. If you wasn't pregnant, I don't know. I don't know. Are you a Jack girl? Mm. Oh shit, man. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Mm. But yeah, you know, with with all of this, yeah, society needs to be fixed too, dude. I mean, because the code of honor, the you know, chivalry, things like that, it's all going away. And you know, we need a reset, not in the globalist way, but we need a reset in the morally bankrupt way because we are morally fucking bankrupt right now. And we need a reset on the societal level from that sense, i.e., a good swift kick in the ass to say, hey, look, start living right.
Yeah, we do. We need, you know, if you're going to have a society, an individualistic society, then for sure we've got to, you know, you got to move in that direction. You've got to make government irrelevant as much as possible. And it's just that's not where we're at right now. I mean, I remember, shoot, you know, my great grandparents' generation thought that their kids were soft, you know, the silent generation, and the silent generation thought the boomers were soft, and they were right.
Mm-hmm.
Then the boomers, well, the boomers were too self-absorbed to really care about what happened with anyone else. So, you know.
All right. Speaking of being a guy, I'm going to take a leak. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. So how we doing, chat? Hope everybody's having a fantastic Christmas. I'm getting over this cold here. Mine's a little foggy. So I'll try to, I guess, get with things as much as possible. Papa Cotton says there's a lot of white people who are really tired of being seen as weak and evil. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, Tolbat says, yeah, meth is the worst. It is, yeah. Boy, that was something else. Boy, yeah. I mean, I've got a lot of interesting stories, I suppose. I didn't have it as bad as some people did. You know, for me, it was every other weekend at my dad's house when they first got divorced, and you know, there were signs beforehand that he was having some problems. Like I remember there was this weekend where he started on Friday. He re-insulated the house, dug a sidewalk all around the house, including the backyard. He did that by hand, by the way. Stirred all the concrete by hand, poured all the concrete by hand, dug a 6 foot by 6 foot hole in the front yard to plant a tree. You only need to dig like a 2 by 2 hole to plant a tree. Like even the neighbors are like, "Hey man, you putting a spa in your front yard?" And and then he installed like 2 deadbolt locks on the front door and disassembled our toaster oven 2 or 3 times. And it was like my mom's like, finally, "Are you getting high?" It's like, no kidding. Tolbot says, and didn't eat a thing, did he? I don't recall. He definitely wouldn't. My mother's cooking was so bad. I don't think any of us were really eating a thing. But yeah. Oof. Well, he was using the toaster oven. He was using the toaster oven to dry out his pot. But yeah, that was pretty bad. And then he got super paranoid. That happened.
You know, one of these fucking times, man. Um, I'm actually just gonna fucking because along I didn't really have a Christmas per se because I cut my trip short, but my cousins did give me some gifts, and one of the gifts I saw in there was a little pinch of Tennessee weed.
Oh, really?
So one of these days on one of these streams, man, I'm just gonna spark it up and go on a um, on a Tennessee weed buzz tangent. I think
Nice.
one of these times, but it's funny because the the interesting thing was I felt like I was high last night driving home because I turned on Coast to Coast AM and they thought about or they talked about um, the it was the weirdest fucking conversation, dude. They talked about Jesus being the ultimate hybridized human alien.
Oh, really?
Human, yeah. Like, you know, he came, he fixed shit, he set out a moral code, he died, and then somehow he's gonna come back at like level fucking 3,000 and just absolutely decimate all the evil fucks. And I was just like, what? But yeah, it was a crazy out there conversation. It was funny as fuck. But I was like, wow, that's some pretty crazy shit. Oh my god. But but in the in the grand scheme of things, I will say this. Just and I tweeted something out to this effect earlier. Like, I was sitting back kind of reflecting today, like on the giving of gifts and stuff like that. And we there's some people that look at Christmas very commercially or very, very, I guess, like greedily from the sense of, hey, look, it's about what I can get. And it's not about that at all. It's about the sentiment behind what a gift is. And really and truly, a gift can be anything. It's not a tangible object always. It's not that. It's that sentiment. It's that knowing, that somebody's giving you something out of love and loyalty. And that, I think, is the biggest indicator that you have solid friends and family that care. You know, I will tell you, to me, the audience that's watching us right now, you guys, to me, are a gift. You're a blessing because it's not
Absolutely.
about, and the same thing with you, Wes, because so many of you are friends and, and genuine, true friends to me. And that's the best gift I could have as opposed to any tangible possession. Because, I know that when the chips are down, hey, I got your back, Drew. And the same thing goes for me with you guys. Shit goes down, I got your back. And that's how it should be. And Eve, thanks. And you have a wonderful night. Get some rest and talk to you soon.
Good night, Eve.
Merry Christmas, Eve.
Merry Christmas. Oh.
Sticky Eve. Merry Christmas. But yeah, that's the gift to me. And I appreciate you. All of you that have had my back from, just a couple weeks ago to the very beginning. From all the stuff I've done, just being here, supporting me, watching the content, supporting Wes, the way that you guys have been, it's priceless. It really is. TZ Burton, hail to you. Merry Christmas, sir.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see you.
Hail TZ Burton. I have to echo your sentiment, Drew. This has been great. I've made lifelong friends, and I thought my friendship making days were over. I was never really particularly great at making friends in the first place, but I've come to love my friends and make amazing friends.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a highlight of my life. And when the old channel got nuked, you guys came to the rescue, and we're pretty close to where we were before on the old channel, and I appreciate that. And I mean, I don't know what the future holds with YouTube at this point, but I'll keep doing what I'm doing, whatever happens. If they nuke whatever cast, we'll be back with whatever cast too. I'm not going to abandon YouTube, but I do think going forward, probably we're going to start our streams on YouTube and move over to Odyssey pretty much on everything at this point, since I seem to be targeted by retarded commies.
Well, that's the thing. We've got we're in the foxhole of this. We're all in our different ways right in the foxhole together, and that's what is important, because when it comes down to it and the shit hits the fan, a lot of it is going to come down to, okay, when shit hits the fan, are we going to stick together? And I think largely the answer to a lot of it is, yeah, we will. So, there it is. And that, as I said, that kind of friendship, that kind of loyalty is, that's priceless. That's more of a gift in life than any physical, trinket, toy, Christmas gift. That's the real shit.
Absolutely. Yeah. Boy, the
nice, very good.
This is I'm just community that too. I've gotten, like, Loki did the fantastic voice for the head biker on Conspiracy Chronicles. And I'm still trying to figure out Conspiracy Guy's voice and some other voices, but I don't know. I may just have to go to the community college and take some animation lessons to try and get that thing going. But we'll see. I don't know. I guess you can do stuff with Blender.
No, and I think you'll get that together, dude. Man, I'll tell you what though, I'm happy from the sense of by the way, the fact that we have merch, and I haven't plugged the merch store in a while, but don't forget we have we have coffee mugs, and we also have T-shirts, and I'm going to go ahead and link those here in a second. But yeah, you know, now I know Christmas has come and gone, but these are pretty cool to have. So make sure if you haven't gotten hashtag Beware the Drew T-shirt that has the channel logo on it, check it out because these are pretty cool looking shirts. I really, really dig these. I like how they came out. And then, we also have, of course, the coffee mugs, which are pretty awesome in themselves. I like how these came out. This has the United Resistance logo on it, and they they're pretty awesome, matter of fact. And we've got on the side it has Beware the Drew. It has the logo on the front. It has the the United Resistance stuff. So yeah, they're really awesome as well. So these make great gifts anytime. say your OnlyFans, says Eve. No, I don't have an OnlyFans. You know, I don't need an OnlyFans, Eve. I just wait till I got a lady and just drop the D behind closed doors. That's how I roll.
Hashtag Beware the Drew.
But yeah, check out those two items. I'm going to design a hoodie and put a hoodie in the store as well, because people like hoodies. That's still been a thing. So and it is hoodie weather. So there you go. So I'll put a hoodie in the store probably in about a week or so, because I gotta design a cool one. If there's any specific designs that you guys want, like maybe a unique design, something, if you send a picture or something like that, I'll see if I can't design some merch around it. Just let me know. If you have a submission, please try to keep it clean. I would like to sell, it's not an adults only store. So, yeah, if you do have a submission, please reach out, let me know, and we'll go from there.
Just make it a giant dong. Just make the whole shirt part of a dong, but no one will be able to tell because it'll be so big.
Yeah, who needs a rocket? You could just fly into space on the giant dong. The dong catapult will get you to Mars.
So
Oh
Patrick Cotton
man!
says conspiracy theorists would say we're all looking at guillotines and FEMA emergency coffins. Yes, they would.
RR says if you're not in a conspiracy, better get you something to it. The thing is, the conspiracy theories are all proving out to be true.
Yeah.
He says you're selling NFTs. No, I don't get into NFTs and stuff like that. I really don't. Nice. Terminus says that's why Jeff Bezos made that penis rocket. He had severe envy over your tongue. Hashtag beware the Drew. Yes. Oh man. So what do we get? You just get some good merch, Eve. You get a cool T-shirt. You get a cool coffee mug.
Yeah, get to support a friend. I haven't set up a Whatevercast store yet. I probably should. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wasn't too satisfied with Teespring stuff. The shirts fit a little bit snug for my taste. Maybe
No,
there's a
I
better
really
alternative.
like how Stream Elements does their store and everything with that. It's really cool. You know, so I like how Stream Elements does the store. Everything's really put together very simply, very common sense on Stream Elements, and I really like that. You know, it's just it's a very easy interface to work with. It's just good all around. I mean, if you're a content creator doing stuff, with supported by the Stream Elements platform, it just really makes the process a lot easier. I do like it a lot.
Well, let's check it out.
Yeah, so Drew, Terminus asks, Drew, when you move out, in addition to a moving van, are you going to rent a flatbed truck to carry that stuff?
He's going to need a pallet jack for his dong.
Oh, man. No, I'm just anxious to get this whole process done. You know, when the house sells and I can move to Tennessee, man, I'm anxious to get into the mountains. And God, I know one of you guys is going to make a twisted joke about that because somebody's going to say, yeah, Drew, I know what mountains you want to get into. But no, the thing is with getting into the mountains, I go do fun shit, go hiking, search for Bigfoot, hopefully not run into that crazy lady RR, the Janice from the Muppets lady. But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing a whole lot of cool shit when I go to Tennessee and move there. So that's going to be a good experience. And living, being 49 in February and living the back half of my life, being able to kind of do the things I want to do and live somewhere where I can find some peace. Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Well, the weather's a little better in Tennessee too, right?
I like it because the Smokies are a natural insulator for a lot of weather. So, so you won't get near as much of the shit that you get living right on Lake Erie. So I'm not going to get that lake effect snow all the time and all the bullshit and endless winter seems like we have the winter season.
Well, we had a very cold winter this winter here in NoCal, and I know it's not cold to you, but excuse me, like in the 30s and in some cases in the 20s. I was like, that's pretty cold for NoCal.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's 40s and 50s in the winter.
Yeah. TZ Burton said it's cold everywhere this week. It is. It's kind of nuts. You're going to New Zealand, eh? Yeah. Well, I was thinking of different places, Eve, and I just narrowed it down to Tennessee because I've got little bit of family there, and it's by the mountains. And if shit hits the fan, I can bug out into the mountains. So that's what it is. It's called tactical positioning, making a defensive position, that type
Well,
of thing.
just be careful. I'll tell you, we've got lots of mountains around here, and that's partially what inspired Conspiracy Chronicles. Actually, was in my work. Excuse me. I'm sorry, my meds are starting to wear off. Man, I was up there showing some land to these hippies, and it was like way off the beaten track. I've probably told this story before, but yeah, it was like half an hour drive on a fucking dirt road through the El Dorado National Forest, and we arrived there, and there's like these fucking bikers with like this weird wagon train of busted RVs up on blocks and just like all kinds of illegality going on there. And I was like, oh God, I'm gonna get killed. I was like, they're gonna murder me and no one's gonna find me. And like it's funny, you know, that's kind of what also inspired kind of the opening scene of Conspiracy Chronicles was you know, there was this bar / post office / general store. I'm not even kidding. And we walked in there to try and get directions, and and just like it was like, you know, walking into a Western or something. As soon as we went in there, you know, there's like biker paraphernalia all over the place, and the place just went silent. And bartender's like, "Hey man, you a cop?" Because I had like my you know my khakis on and my white dress shirt with my tie on, and yeah, it was not the way to be not the attire to be wearing in that neck of the woods. That didn't go down so well. I was like, well, that's scary.
I got arrested from Cook County to Murfreesboro. They hate white, period. Yeah, some places do, man. TC Burton says, just wear your mask, Wes.
That'll fix everything.
Yep. Papa Cotton says it was gorgeous out today. Shit, Papa Cotton. Right now, it's fucking 8 degrees here. It ain't gorgeous here. Fuck that. Up in Ohio right now where I'm at, it's fucking 8 degrees, dude. Screw that.
It's really dense fog right now where I'm at. Hail Shadow Man! Oh my goodness. We were just talking about you the other day.
Shadow Man. Jesus Christ. That's a blast from the past.
Yeah, hail to you, my friend. I just finished up Doom Eternal, and I was expressing my gratitude for you recommending the game. It's on sale, by the way.
Yeah, that's one of the things, dude, I want to get back to too, man. When I move and I get like the setup that I want and everything, you know, I mean, I'll do some game streaming here and there from here. When I move, I can really get back into it in earnest because I miss game streaming on a regular basis. I really do, you know, and I need to like get into some new shit to play. So, and Merry Christmas, belated now, Shadow Man. Technically, I guess it isn't belated because we have 45 minutes to go on the West Coast before it's after Christmas. So,
well, you never finished it? Yeah, it was a really tough boss. I was so tempted to use the Sentinel armor on him, but I didn't. I resisted temptation, and I managed to finally defeat him. I think it took me like 3 or 4 tries. But that was a great game. Both that and Doom 2016 are both masterpieces. And it's just, I think I like 2016 just a little bit more, but it's not like it's that much of a difference. It's like they're both awesome. I actually like the platforming, and that was one of the things that it got criticism for.
Really?
Yeah. I thought the platform was freaking awesome. I thought it enhanced the gaming experience quite a bit, actually.
I've never been too big on platforming stuff, but it's not bad.
Yeah. Time to revisit Cyberpunk 2077, Shadow Man says. And that is a good idea. I did just create a corpo file, and I have not done a playthrough on that. It wants me to update it, and it's like an 11 gig update. So,
yeah, well, there is some stuff to play. I need to revisit some of the predictive programming type shit. Like, I need to revisit the Division 2, stuff like the original Division, just because that shit is based as hell.
have
Eve
you
says, you're actually both awesome. Thank you, Eve, for the $5 super chat. Thank you for your support. All seriousness aside, all us busting each other's balls. You rock, girl, and I appreciate you supporting the channel and just being in general a great person. I mean, you're a smart ass when you want to be, but you're also like you're an angel with the devil horns holding up the halo. What can I say? I love it. It's awesome.
Hey, Drew, have you played Call of Duty Advanced Warfare?
I remember that.
That's the one with Kevin Spacey. You want to talk about a predictive programming game? That might be one you might want to pick up. And since it has Kevin Spacey, it might be on sale.
Yeah, I want to. Like I said, there's a lot of shit that I want to play. I want to stream. I want to really get through the rest of that Halo playthrough, because I want to go through the chapters, because I'm really waiting to get to Halo 3. I want to I want to do some of the other stuff. I actually want to go back and do one of the blasts from the past that I did on my Twitch channel, which was play the old Telltale Batman games and play the old Telltale Walking Dead games, because people really enjoyed watching those and interacting, because I would do interactive streams with my chat and let them pick the dialogue choices. So I want to do a similar thing on here, and I think it would be fun, because I got all the Telltale Walking Deads, except for the final chapter. I need to pick up the final chapter, but I will. And then we will do that, you guys. And I want to play through those, because, man, that just has one of the best, I think, stories. I really enjoyed the Walking Dead video games more than I ever enjoyed watching the show.
Yeah, the show is only good for the first 3 seasons. So yeah. Shadow Man is asking if we've heard of the Earth flip theory. I think he's referring to the magnetic pole shift. Is that what he's referring to?
I've heard of it, but I could tell you this, and this is what I believe. You want to talk about what's going on? Well, I go back to what we learned in school as kids, which was back when they used to try to teach science. The Earth works in natural cycles. There are actual studies, and you have to hunt high and low for them, but there are actual studies that tell you that no, there is not global warming going on. It's the exact opposite. We are heading towards more of a freeze, more of an ice age. And there is data to back that up. So, again, the climate change nonsense with all of what they're trying to push is bunk. It's a bunch of bunk. It's always been. Yeah. The Earth works in natural cycles, and we're headed for a very cold one.
Yeah, it is supposedly cyclical, and it happens. We seem to be coming up on a lot of very interesting cycles in our lifetime here. You've got, we're going from Pisces into Aquarius right now, if we're not already into Aquarius. which is supposedly puts us into a celestial cycle where we're supposedly entering into a more densely packed as far as meteorites and asteroids and comets and stuff. And then you have this this magnetic pole shift, which seems to happen from time to time, and really pretty interesting. And supposedly, I mean, the magnetic pole used to be, I think, in northern Africa at some point, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And it just, exactly. It's a sudden shift. Yes. And I guess does the Earth flip itself? I'm not sure exactly. I think, or is it just the poles that shift?
I don't necessarily think the poles have shifted too much. I think it's just more on the natural end. Although Shadow Man brings up a good point. Flood, sudden shift, cycle was recorded in March. The next one is here. Sorry for the typo.
I don't really see a lot of typos, but yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of cycles actually that are happening right now that are something to pay attention to. And you kind of wonder if all this stuff isn't connected. And I don't know. I told you, I asked the question. I don't know if it's a theory or not. But I mean, they're talking about climate change, and that's the danger to the Earth in 2050 and all of that stuff. And so you got to kind of wonder if we're entering, if there's a polar shift, and then also we're entering this different region of space that's cyclical. I don't know. I posed the question, and I want to be careful since we're on your channel and I don't want to get you a strike. But you have to kind of wonder if there's not a mass mercy kill thing happening, and never let a good crisis go to waste, and just whatever shakes out, they have this control mechanism in place.
Well, there absolutely is. They're never going to let a crisis go to waste. It's the useless eater syndrome that they have, dude. They are hell-bent on, thinning the herd, culling the population. That is exactly what drives them. So,
yeah, exactly. But they just didn't come up with it on their own. They saw these cycles, and
I believe it's a progression from the ancient Mayans and shit like that. Any of the fucking cultures that actually, were into human sacrifice and shit like that, were essentially by proxy culling their population. So, this is not a new concept.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, they're trying to be more, they're trying to basically be more, I guess, under the radar about it. But, that is the best. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Shadow Man says those who know. They are preparing. It's Noah all over again, being warned. Cycles are known, and those who survived the last floods tried to warn us, and they were warned by the survivors of the one before them. We do not get completely wiped out. That's true. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, I was actually, because there's just you're exactly right. I mean, they talk about these cycles, and then they give us these astrological clues as to when it's going to happen. And you have things like the Mayan calendar and these monuments around the world that align to certain astrological phenomenon pointing to these cycles. And and then the censorship of that, some of the mistranslations, or maybe we're not getting the most accurate translations. And even, I mean, that's why you have people like Graham Hancock being censored. And even he's
Mm-hmm.
like, I don't understand why I'm being censored. This seems rather obvious to me and anybody that really looks at it. Like, why is this censorship happening? And it seems to be something that probably will be happening in our lifetime. And this, this seems to be, this seems to be, they're preparing for the new world.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever's going to emerge, they want to be the ones that emerge after it happens. I mean, you've got the Denver International Airport, you've got tunnels, those freaky murals, man. Oof.
What are we going to be in fucking Fallout 4?
Sounds like Fallout 4.
Coming out of the vaults. And we're not allowed to live in the vaults.
Yeah, something like that. It sounds like Fallout 4 would be kind of an optimistic view of it, but
Yeah.
Probably have a lot less left of whatever previous the civilization was there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, those monuments, the Sphinx, and even the pyramids. The pyramids were built on older structures, and a lot of the other megaliths were built on older structures, way older structures. And you're just playing telephone with the ancients. That's what's happening.
I was gonna say, by the way, on the 28th, in a couple days, guys, I am having a huge blowout sale of household items. If anybody can make it up to pick up some stuff, let me know. I've got dressers, I've got end tables, I've got stuff like that I'm going to be doing basically an estate sale because as I talked to my realtor, everything must go. So, that's where we're at. But getting back on it, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of predictors and things that tell us what's coming, from Denver International Airport to all of this shit. So, there's a ton of stuff to be gleaned from all of it if you pay attention. But again, we know in our larger society right now, as it's been dumbed down, people are not paying attention. People don't care to pay attention. They're too busy with certain just living in their safe bubble, the bubble of willful ignorance or just stupid ignorance. And I hate that people are like that. I mean, unlock your fucking mind.
Yep.
Do some research. That's
they're
all.
a lot happier than we are, though, Drew.
It can't just be me here. I'm paying literal attention. And thank you again, E, for the $5 super chat. Much appreciated. I am paying literal attention. You really are. Thank you so much for that, though. It is appreciated. Thank you.
Absolutely. So, I mean, in addition to the the megaliths we have on Earth, you've got megaliths on Mars in the Cydonia region, and then you've got that the monolith on Phobos, the moon of Mars. I mean, it seems like there's a lot of evidence out there.
I'm going to drive people mad. I can do the physics for the moon landings. It all makes sense to a scientific and physical mid. Terminus says, that describes most of my family to a T. It sucks that I am the most critically thinking person in my whole family. Well, you have to be right now because there's false realities being built around you. There's fucking so many layers of distraction built around you. All of this is crafted like a house of cards. If you can break through the fucking house of cards, then you can see the whole picture for yourself. It's not hidden that well. But the problem is, people don't even want to break through the fucking house of cards. They just give into the stupid distraction mechanism, which is just idiocy. because all you're doing is like running the hamster wheel, and you're not asking any questions as wait, what's actually going on around me? And that's what drives me mad about a lot of people, is because they're too stupid or too ignorant to think critically.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. My brother and I seem to be the only ones that are kind of awake in the family. We don't get along, and we're trying to bring other people around. We're like, hey, if we don't get along and we both agree on this, maybe you guys should start taking a look at it. But just to kind of go back to my theory here, I mean, do we think that the thing that shall not be named, the certain procedure that was done as kind of a mercy thing when the time gets nearer to a pole shift?
All of it's connected. It's all part of, again, the distraction mechanism. Look, everything that's happened, COVID-19, the race garbage, the trans nonsense. Because, look, it is nonsense. And I've said it many times. And I don't care, because somebody's going to come out and say, "Oh, Drew, you're a bigot, or you're you're not trans friendly, or you're not this or that." Well, no, I'm not going to be trans friendly, because it's like when I meet somebody in person, I don't care about your pronouns. Tell me your name and I'll address you by your name. But I'm not going to indulge your false reality bubble that you live in, because you live in stupid land. And I don't care to acknowledge stupid land, because that's not where I live.
One of the signs of maturity is not caring what other people think about you. So that might be a philosophy that those folks might want to embrace.
So I'm not going to sit there. You can walk up to me and say, "I identify as a cat." I'll hand you a fucking litter box then and say, "Okay, go shit." Because I don't want to. If you're gonna try to live in that fucking kind of reality, then take it all the way. If I reduce you all of a sudden to, cat functions and acting like a cat, well, we'll see how quickly you want to act like a fucking cat. So that's the peak bullshit that we live in. I'm not gonna identify with that. The only cats are my actual fucking cats, Apollo and Gambit. They're not going to try to identify as human. And if they do,
sometimes cats kind of do.
Well, they do, but they're unless they come out and start speaking fucking English to me and say, "Get me some food, motherfucker," then I'm not going to try to act like they're human. But huh?
Oh, I was gonna say, what's funny? Actually, my great grandma's third husband had these two Siamese cats, and he taught one of those cats to take a shit in the toilet.
And, yeah, you can actually potty train cats. I've seen people do it, but that's just weird as shit to me. It's like, fucking hey, man.
It is
litter box and be done with it.
What was weird is that, like, he used to show it off, right? So there'd be like 5 of us standing in the doorway, and the cat would just, dump in the toilet with 5 people watching him from the door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Papa Cotton has good pronouns. I like Papa Cotton's pronouns.
Yeah, I'm not going to give into that shit. Look, the fucking trans stuff was an SS experiment. It was done by Dr. Joseph Mengele. And oh, by the way, the first trans people went fucking mad. And there's a reason why they went mad, because it's unnatural. It's not supposed to be a thing. And Shadow Man with the $10 super chat says, beer, snacks, whatever, you guys are the best. Thank you so much, Shadow
Thank you,
Man.
Shadow
I
Man.
appreciate it. You know, it's not something that is meant to be. We are a society based on, you know, a moral code, traditional gender roles, and procreation. And it's about propagating the human race. And then when you've got an active effort to stop that propagation and essentially throw society on its head, well, then, you know, you get what we have today. And we have to collectively put our foot down and say no more of the bullshit, or, you know, we're just going to continue to end up in a more severe and much more obvious culling. So, you know, the time is now to pound the table and say, I'm done with this, or just go along and allow yourself to die. So that's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I guess our consolation prize is that we get to die like men. That's nice.
Well, I'm going to. You know, I mean, I'm going to continue to push to to speak truth and to, you know, put shit correctly out there and common sense. And if it costs me, you know, my life, if somebody fucking puts two in the back of my head one day, so be it. But I'm going to continue to speak till I'm gone. You know, if it comes down to it, where it's the citizenry against the government, then so be it. So be it.
Yep.
Because just as much as I could be a journalist, I can fucking lead a resistance cell. So I'll do both, or, you know, one or the other. I don't care, but I'm ready.
Interesting time to be alive, that's for sure.
It is.
My
Damn
great.
Skippy.
Yep. There's Sister Mary Six Gun.
Sister Mary Six Gun, what is going on? You know, Merry Christmas. Great to see you. Well, TZ Burton, you know, pretty soon the time will be at hand.
My great grandma said before she died, and that we're in the end times, and that me and my brother will live to see the end times. Mm-hmm. I think she was right.
I do believe we are. And, you know, tell you what, I'm going to enjoy the blaze of glory I'm going out on, boy. I'm going to enjoy it. You know, you'll just go out on titties, beer, and truth, bro. That's how it is.
Yeah, man, live life hard.
You know, I mean, I've had 16 years of being a caregiver. First for dad, helping mom out, taking care of dad. When daddy passed away, taking care of mom as she declined over the years. And I kept my promise to my dad to take care of my mom. I stood by my dad. and I put a lot of life on hold. Now, when this process is over, starting over, man, I'm just gonna live, dude. I'm just gonna live.
You
I'm gonna
should.
I'm gonna do what I'm doing. I'm gonna continue what I'm doing because I really believe in doing my journalism, living for the right reasons. Honestly taking it seriously that I support and defend the Constitution of the United States and being an American until I die. But at the same time, yeah, I'm going to live. I'm going to make up for that lost time. And you know what? I'm damn sure going to have fun doing it. I'm going to live by a moral code, you best believe, but I'm still going to have fun.
Yeah, man, you absolutely should. But I tell you, I've done some pretty crazy stuff over the years. Yeah. You're not hurting anybody else. Go for it. But yeah,
Yeah,
man, you know, it's your time. It's your time everybody should enjoy life. Absolutely.
you know, and that's the thing. Dwayne says, "Thank you both for saying the truth. Live hard, take no shit from anybody." That's right. You
Absolutely.
know, let's be men. Let's be real men and real women. Red shirt.
Hail,
You,
just another red shirt. Welcome, my friend.
red shirt. I want to tell you, because I've been going through my messages all day, and there's some people that will just go on their social medias and they'll just tag a list of people and be done with it. You know, if I'm going to wish people a Merry Christmas, I'm going to take my time and send you a personalized message and tell you what's on my mind, what you mean to me, and wish you genuinely a Merry Christmas and that, God blesses you and your family. I mean, that's just how I am. I want to take the time to do that. That's just how I grew up. It's basically the same version of my mom taking the time to sit down and send everybody Christmas cards when she was alive. Well, I look at it as, I like to do that. And Redshirt, I don't know if I got to sending out the message I was going to send you yet, but I just wanted to tell you, you know, you mean the world to me, my friend. And I hope you and your family had a wonderful Christmas. And, I appreciate your friendship. And just thank you, man. Thank you for being a good part of my life, very positive force in my life. I appreciate you, buddy. I just wanted you to know that. And
Absolutely.
thank you.
Hail, just another red shirt.
Um,
Well, I miss our whatever cast Wednesdays. Once I work myself out of poverty and I'm not in Twitter jail, we should be doing more of those.
a $5 super chat from Eve on a Stick says, I found you, Fury. I found you, Fury.
Yep. Fury.
Yeah. Yeah.
So funny
Fury,
for
yeah.
August.
Fury is like a troll, like but Fury has been a troll for just about the entire time that I've been broadcasting, and Fury's been a part of the chat. So yeah, it's just Fury is just a no fucks giving person. Uh Tehillim says, I'm watching a real classic movie on TV at the moment called A King in New York. I remember that.
It sounds familiar, but it's not drawing any blanks. So I'm just curious, Drew, since we were talking about this 12,000 year cycle and the different cycles that the Earth has been through. I think they're saying there are 5 great cycles or something like that for humanity. Do you think that humanity was more technologically advanced in those prior cycles, or that this is the pinnacle?
I don't know that it is, because there's like some interesting things when you watch things like Ancient Aliens, things of that nature, where we see that there was technology before we had technology. What was their technology like? Were they more advanced than us? There's some indications that say they possibly were more advanced than us. And we're on a backward loop of technology. Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. Bob Lazar said one of the stories they told him about one of the craft was that it was, one of the stories was that it was an archaeological dig.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily out of the realm of possibility, because you have to really think about that. Because there has been things that people don't talk about, but there has been some evidence gathered that said, yes, there might very well be, more advanced technology in our past as opposed to what we have now. So we just don't know.
Yeah. Shadow Man says, I think we were at a pinnacle of technology, but the top led them to a different tech tree than capitalism has led us to. Interesting.
That's true too.
Yeah. It's like playing Civilization. I knew I shouldn't have focused on animal husbandry.
Yeah. Very interesting.
RR says, the older the civilization the archaeologists are finding, the more advanced they seem to be.
Well, Eve, it's funny. I just kind of inherited Fury. Fury showed up one day and stayed and never went anywhere. For want of a horrible piece of crap about semiconductors, Faraday and most electronic engineers were working in semiconductors prior to electromagnetic dionism. Interesting. Tommy says the world will keep churning and the mentally inept will keep falling face first in shit. Yeah, well, that's not wrong either. Happy Schwanza, says Sister Mary Six Gun. Shadowman says, I'm not anti-capitalist. I just say it has been the guiding thing for civilization for thousands of years now.
Well, yeah. It's true. If you look at, we don't even really know what the economics of ancient Egypt really was. I mean, we just have what we have. It's very hierarchical. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, Terminus says, Supreme Heretic, if you were to go by the Bible, people living before the flood lived for centuries. That would give people plenty of time to be highly technologically advanced. Yes. You have to wonder, we go back to, we want to go back to the weird and out there stuff, a little bit of paranormal / unexplained. Well, let's talk for a minute about what's in the Vatican vault. Is some of that perhaps advanced technology locked up there? We have to ask ourselves about that. They have so many different things in that vault. What is really there? That's fascinating.
Yeah. Boy, I'd like to know where the extraterrestrial part. You see, here's another rabbit hole, right? One of the crop circles, I think in the 90s in Great Britain, they said The window is closing now. Beware of friends bearing gifts. And then it showed like, a typical gray. And you know which one I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was like, where do they fit into this? I mean, if we're heading into this very strange cycle with a lot of different things happening, I mean, are they just like getting the hell out of here because they don't want to get caught up in the melee or what? That's even before we get into interdimensional stuff.
Yeah. Well, you have to wonder. We talk a lot on this particular program about paranormal and the unexplained. Well, you know, are we entering a convergence with the different planes of existence? That's a possibility too, because there's a lot of stuff that slips through. Because we know when we die, we have a general idea. Now people, again, if you're more of a religious person, and you guys know openly, I don't hide it. I believe in God. I believe in the concept of heaven and hell, and that our souls do go somewhere. But when you're talking about a higher plane of existence, okay, we're on the one where we inhabit our mortal body, but when our mortal body dies, where do we go? Well, we ascend to another higher plane of existence, most likely. Whatever realm you go to, or at least what your perception is when you hit that realm, probably depends on the morality code that you lived in your life. But the thing is okay, we're starting to see a convergence of different things. So when you talk about dimensional beings, because of that convergence and that veil kind of thinning, are we seeing different things from other dimensions coming through?
Gotta wonder. Well, I'll tell you, man, when I sat down to write Conspiracy Chronicles, I've told you about the weird experience that I had. So I definitely believe that it's crossed belief into absolute certainty that there is something more. Because that was a very interesting experience. That was very weird. And the week or two after that was very weird.
The bulk of the Bronze Age came from southern Britain at Cyprus, cupric, and tin. The Arsacide adstanics that came from Cornwall made the southern empires.
Could be that the ancients had evolved to such a point that they had digital money. I mean,
Well,
who
you never
knows?
know.
They could have had stuff that Nikola Tesla was working on, and we're just totally down a different path, totally different path. I mean, J.P. Morgan's famous for blowing up Wardenclyffe. Has anybody made a small model of that? Would it even work on a small model? I mean, I'm so many questions.
Yeah, you have to wonder. You really have to wonder about stuff like that.
I know that supposedly people that had patents for certain things got paid a visit by the Men in Black. When those patents show up at the patent office, they're like, no, you don't. Nope.
RR says Atlantis had the two eye stone. Yeah. Well, you wonder. Arsenides, white metal.
Yeah.
King Diamond, black metal. That was a joke, by the way. Those of you that don't like metal music, you won't get it. But
I got it. Took me a second, but I understood.
But anyways, it's going on 12 a.m. where you're at. It's going on 3 a.m. where I'm at. So
Shadow Man's asking what the schedule is. 9:30 p.m. ish on Sundays, I think is what it is for our time.
Usually more. I try to shoot for 9 o'clock West Coast on Sunday, but I extended the time out a little bit more today so that it'd be a little easier and laid back for us to get here, and that worked out. But normally, Shadow Man, it is 9 o'clock West Coast, aka midnight Eastern, and we usually do a lot more of the paranormal slash unexplained content. But Wes and I just got together for a crazy rabbit hole trip and everything, so it was fun.
Yeah, this was
Uh,
great. Honestly was kind of glad we took the path we did. It's always magic when we do one of these streams, and I was like, yeah, let's talk about this stuff.
Eve says the cops are here. Stay here. You know what, Eve? I'll tell the cops, hey, police. I was at January 6th. Come get me. Come get me if you dare. Um, Terminus S says at Supreme Heretic, I believe that life forms back then also used to be much bigger than today. Like that the Devil's Tower in Wyoming is really a gigantic tree stump. You know, well,
That's an
it's
interesting
kind
thought.
dude, it's kind of like I must be a throwback to the old to them old life forms, because I mean the
Hashtag beware the Drew.
yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the Bible talks about giants, and you had evidence of megafauna. You had like giant sloths and giant beavers and stuff.
Yeah, well, maybe I was built for the giant beaver. That's what it was.
Dun-dun-ts.
um, all right. So,
Nice.
Wes, tell everybody what you got going on.
I'm on the verge of being banned again from YouTube. So catch me before I am on youtube.com/whatevercastofficial. And you could also find me on Odyssey as well. So what we have coming up is I'm banned from streaming until January 5th. So you can find me on my good friend Drew's here channel when we stream together, which hopefully will be more frequently. And that's about it. I think I need to take some more NyQuil and get some rest.
Yeah, and of course, I'm Drew Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic. Um, as I said, usually on Sunday nights we do this at midnight Eastern. Of course, the show is called the Midnight Prism. On Tuesdays, I do United Resistance, which is pretty much straight up politics and current events. And we talk about what's going on in the world. Tonight, we were just kind of all over the place. Well, because listen, there were no rules tonight, and it's my show, and I really didn't give two shits. So we were all over the place, and I'm not going to apologize for that because it was fun. And next week we probably will do a paranormal topic, and we'll get into some of the crazy stuff that's happening because there is some interesting UFO stuff out in the ether and some other stuff. So we'll get into that next week. But I just wanted to have a laid back kind of show tonight, and with it being Christmas and all, and everybody kind of coming in either hungover or in a crazy mood or just winding down from having company and having screaming kids around or whatever. Everybody was here to blow off steam. We did, and it was fun. It was a fun conversation. So big thank you to Wes for being on, and thank you to all of you for again supporting the channel and just generally being amazing friends and awesome people. Thank you. And I will see you guys most likely Tuesday. But until then, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I really hope everyone had a great Christmas. And, give give everybody in your families my best. And may God's grace be with you. I love you guys. I really do. And, you know, I thank you for sharing a bit of your late Sunday/Monday morning with me. Thank you so much. Your friendship is the greatest Christmas present I could have. So
Yes, it is.
I appreciate you. Wes appreciates you. You know, let's continue to stick together and support one another. I will see you soon. I
Merry
promise.
Christmas.
So take care. Merry Christmas. Good night. And we are out.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, hi, Coast Casino.
Hey, welcome to Sporking News Podcast. My name is Scott.
I'm E. Temple Queen of the Place to Be Reviews.
I am the Patriot, True Taylor, aka Supreme Heretic.
The Red Gaze on YouTube, at the Red Gaze on Twitter.
What up, what up, what up?
Hello, everybody. It's me, Vinny.
The voice of Immortal Coil.
Oh, hey, I am the Ghost Bear.
What's going on, Tommy? You didn't get anybody to like this?
Yeah, I'm Wes Moody of the Wes Moody Webcast.
Tone Death rocking.
I mean, we have a lot of cool things over there. I did some magic tricks.
Hi, guys. Try to stay here.
My name is Mark the Knight.